Hello. Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Gary.
Fantastic. I never know these things. I'm not incredibly technology savvy, so I'm just like I don't know if you can see me or hear me. Or, I hope so.
Get with it, old man.
My kids, my kids are always saying like, "How do you do this? Give me that
Right,
phone."
right.
You know
I'm
what I mean?
right.
I'm like, yeah, whatever.
I'm right there with you. I'm right
Yeah.
there with you, man. It's like I've been sitting there for like 10 minutes making sure, okay, do I have this on? Am I recording? Am I do
Yeah.
they got the show coming up this Friday, so I can't mess this up, blah, blah, blah. It's like, but I'll tell you, my lawn looks great.
See, that there's strengths and weaknesses. You
That's
know.
right. I'm handy with an edger, and my hedges are nice and straight. You'd love it, man. You'd love it.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to have the lawnmower at my home because I killed one.
Oh no.
Which is a great way of getting out and mowing the lawn.
Sure,
Just,
that's right.
just
That's
kill
right.
it.
Babe,
Oh, lawnmower's dead.
right.
Sorry. Yeah.
I'd get out there and do it myself, but the lawnmower's broken.
Yeah, I broke it. What can you do?
Right on, right on. Well, hey man, pleasure to meet you today.
You too.
Are you pretty I gotta say you gotta be pretty excited about the show coming up pretty soon, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that my job is awesome. I said to somebody last week in another interview. I says, it's one of the only jobs in the world you get in a round of applause. If a plumber fixes your toilet, you don't go, "Well done." And what are you going to do for an encore? Fix the sink?
Right, right.
It's one of, and I do. I'm 25 years down the line, and I'm probably more grateful than I ever have been that I still get a chance to go around the world and basically make people smile. That's what the show is. It's about making people have a good time.
And it's so easy for them to do, Gary. I haven't seen you
Yeah.
guys in person, but I'm looking forward to seeing you at the Mountain Winery this Friday. That's gonna be an awesome show. For folks that are still on the fence about getting the tickets, don't wait because they're going fast. When I last checked, they were at less than 5% left of those seats. Gary,
Well, that's awesome.
it's not just any old venue, the Mountain Winery. It's an amazing place. You're
You know,
outdoor, the winery, it's
yep.
up on the mountain there in Saratoga, Mountain View. It's so beautiful to be there. And then, of
Yeah.
course, seeing one of the most iconic bands of all time, right? The way that you guys represent Freddie Mercury and Queen is second to none. Freddie
Thank
himself
you.
would be pleased and impressed. And I'm sure that the guys that are still here with us, Brian and John, everybody, I'm sure that they've probably seen you guys like, yeah, they got it.
I
They
know, I
got it.
know, I know. Brian diggs us. I've met Brian, and then Davey, our guitarist, has an endorsement deal with the Brian May Guitars, which is his own company,
Right.
which makes replicas of his guitars. I don't know if the listeners know, but Brian May built his own guitar from motorcycle springs, a 200-year-old fireplace, a knitting needle and pieces of crap that he found in his house because he couldn't afford to buy a Stratocaster or a Les Paul. It cost him equivalent of $20, and he's played on every single Queen song.
Wow. That
So, so his company now makes replicas. Third guitarist Davey was one of the first Queen tributes to be endorsed by the guitar company. So that's a real sort of tip in the hat. And he wrote to me and to know your hero loves you, that thing. Don't meet your heroes. And I was like, oh, I don't want to meet Brian, but he was so cool. But I did want to meet him. And
yeah,
then it kind of got a bit Wayne's Worldy, the Alice Cooper thing, and then we got
right.
over that, and he was so cool. And yeah, it's nice to know that he digs what we do, because it is a tribute, to Freddie and to the band
That's
with
right.
at that moment in time when Freddie was such a strong front man and showman, and trying to create a moment in time that people will never see again. People say to us, "Oh, say to me, are you the best Queen tribute band in the world?" And my answer always is, as long as we're the best Queen tribute band in the room, that's all we care about. Well, on the Mount Winery case, outdoors, I've got to tell you a quick story, and I'm not gonna name him, but our tour manager, when we did the Mountain Winery one of the years, one of the things that we have as a policy in an indoor venue is if there's latecomers, hold them at the gate or at the door until the first song, and then let
Yeah,
them go to their seats.
yeah.
But you're playing a wine vineyard, as you know, it's a wet vineyard, and there's a few bars. We started the show in 2022. I ran out And I was like, I thought this was sold out. There's like maybe 100 people in the audience. No, the security were holding the rest of the audience at the gate.
No
And
way.
they're all standing because everybody was still at the bar. The show starts. Or you can't come in for the first song. So we run out and we're confused. We're like, why is
Where
nobody
is
here?
everybody?
And then the song finished and hundreds of people ran in with hands full of drinks.
Oh.
And it was like, hello. And
Yeah.
then suddenly it was sold out. And our tour manager was like, my bad. Sorry.
Right.
Sorry.
Don't let that happen again.
I learned a valuable lesson that night, and that was in an outdoor venue where there's lots of bars. Don't hold the audience.
Let them in.
Let them in. Let them
Yeah.
in.
Let them attack the bars inside the venue. There's plenty.
Exactly. Yeah.
One of the things that I noticed about your shows that I got to see online, Gary, is just the pure experience. When I would talk about people going to see Gary Mullen and the Works, the Queen tribute band, it's such an amazing experience. When people get to a show like that, a lot of people say, "Man, just close your eyes, man," and it takes you right there. You'd swear you're listening to Freddie Mercury himself. Swear you're listening to the band themselves, the entire Queen band. Close your eyes and you're right there. My advice to them would be like, maybe close your eyes only for a second, but then open them because it's Freddie Mercury. It's literally Freddie Mercury. Yes, he's come back to us in Gary Mullen's skin, but he's there.
You know what the thing is? That is the thing. Someone said, "Man, if I closed my eyes, I went, you wouldn't see anything." And he went, "Yeah."
Right.
Because it is an immersive experience. You've got the costume and stuff. You got the band being energetic, the energy of the band playing. Because we don't stand still. The lights, the smoke. The
entire theatrics. You guys are the whole thing. Yeah.
It sometimes goes from Queen to Spinal Tap. Oh right, that was something went off there. But it is that thing. It's creating a moment in time, like I said, you'll never see again. And the energy, and it is an experience. We treat every show like it could be our last. But you're a musician. You know how it is. You've got to go out and just. You got to give your heart and soul.
Yeah.
You got to play like you mean it, because the audience will see through you like a veil.
Well,
if they know you're just, and if you just dial it in, no, you lose them like that. You've got to. And Freddie's thing was, it was an immersive experience. It was talk to the audience, joke with the audience, get them to sing, get them to play their guitar, headbang, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody is the best part because we leave the stage for the Galileos because obviously so much and the light show. But all the guys go Galileo and all the women go Galileo, and it's hilarious to hear. It's like that's the wrong way around. But it is that thing of join in, really get into it.
It's such an amazing experience, man. I can't wait to see you guys. And but you know what, Gary, if you don't mind, let's go back to the beginning. You guys do this so well. This is not something that you just started a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
You've been at this tribute for Queen and Freddie Mercury for quite some time. My question for you is, what was it like the very first time you took the stage as Freddie Mercury? What even brought you to the realization that you could do that, pull it off, and then get people impressed and excited about what you're doing? Tell me about that.
It wasn't me on my own sort of figuring it out. I was in bands when I was a teenager. We had a heavy metal band called Hellfire. We were like, take on the world, it was like it was like the sort of amalgamation of like Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, and Iron Maiden. If you threw them all into a pot, that was kind of what we did. So we would do, hey, let's play a song you've never heard before and get your attention, and people would be like, so we threw cover versions, and we do Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, and we threw Queen songs in. And back then, people would say, "Hey man, you sound like Freddie Mercury," and he's my hero.
Now, what year is this, Gary? What year is this?
Oh God, this is 1990. Oh God, 92, 93. This is when I'm a teenager.
Wow.
Yeah, my John, our drummer, and he was 15, I was 18. We were playing rock clubs, and he was too young to play them.
Oh wow.
And his uncle would come to the show and go, he's only 15. And we're going, shut up, we're going to get thrown out.
Put that beer down.
He's 21, shut up. Because he wasn't even allowed to be old enough to be in the club, but he's on the drums.
Yeah.
So we that kind of started there. And then my wife and mum applied for the Stars in Their Eyes TV show. Didn't tell me about it on the off chance that maybe the network never called. They did call. And then suddenly this mad roller coaster of come down for auditions, costume fittings. We're going to have you for the next season. You've got to sing backing vocals on the track you're going to do. You're going to be on TV to the whole of the UK.
Wow.
Have
Wow.
it.
Oh
Oh,
my God.
and the final is completely live. Good luck. Don't fall over and have a good one. And that's how it felt. And then suddenly you're pushed through a load of smoke onto a TV stage that you can't see for a start anybody. And then suddenly there's an audience, there's cameras, there's red lights,
All in
and
your face.
you're trying not to think, right, it's okay. There's only like 20 million people down the line watching you in the audience here, and it's completely live. Just don't fall on your ass. Don't sound like Scooby Doo. And
Right.
that was pretty much it. It was like, right, if we can do that for the song, and it was like that. And then I won the show with the biggest vote ever on the whole thing, which blew me away because I'm like, who won? Like me. And if you and you can watch, yeah, you can watch the footage on YouTube. I look like a moose that stepped out in front of a truck.
Wow.
The face, kind of like that. I sit and watch it like, oh god, because I'm like, and that was it, and that suddenly was it. And then you've got to go from that to I suddenly got offers of work. How do I build a show around a TV performance of one song?
Right.
And
Right.
a
Right.
lot of people would come like this.
Right. Yep. Yep. Yep.
What you got?
You know what, Gary? As we would, if we were in their position,
Yeah.
we'd be like, okay, let's see these guys pull this
Yes.
off. You know,
What you
one of our
got?
favorite bands, one of our favorite
Yeah.
singers of all of our life, and he
Yeah.
thinks he's going to pull this off. We're
Yeah.
the guys sitting in the front row,
Yeah.
arms folded, checking you
Oh
out.
yeah. And as you know yourself, Morris, musicians that come to the show, if you know somebody that's a peer or somebody that's a hero and they turn up to your show, you're just like, oh crap, why did you have to sit where I could see you?
Right.
Because it is that, and you're
Right,
like, really?
right.
Could you not sit at row 40 where I can't see? You've got to
Right.
sit at row 2 like that.
Right.
You know? So yeah, and there's still that, and there's always still the nerves when the lights go down and the intro starts. There's always that feeling, oh, so I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna bother. It's okay because you're in. You're committed. As you know, is when your foot hits that stage, you're in.
It's on. It's on.
It's on.
No turning back.
You can't just go. Nah, I changed my mind. You
Yeah.
got to just do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is it. And it's that's what keeps me going. That thrill.
And I can see even as talking to you right now, Gary, like the energy level has to be 100% at 100. That's who you are as a person, but that's also who Freddie Mercury was when he's on the stage. You know, when I've seen the footage of you guys, doing your thing live on YouTube and stuff, I mean, the amount sometimes it's easy to forget just what a ball of fire that Freddie Mercury was. And the fact that you bring that exact same image all the way down to just, the mannerisms, some of the head gestures, the way he gyrates, the way he prances around on the stage and stuff. And you've got all that down pat, Gary. If you are a Queen fan, if you are a Freddie Mercury fan, let's go back to Live Aid 1985 and see Gary Mullen and the works at the Mountain Winery, because it's coming back this Friday. And that's what's so amazing about it. You really put on a great show just unto yourself, Gary. Kudos to you. And then I saw a video where it was like, well, I really got to get back in shape. Gary took his shirt off. Wow.
well, that's it. People always go, "Are you doing that to show off?" No, I do that because by that point I'm usually melting.
Oh, what, really?
Oh man, the sweat. I mean, just and some of these summer shows like the Mountain Winery, you're at the top of a mountain in the sunshine.
Ooh.
You run out and it's like, oh god. And I'm Scottish, I go from blue to white to blue again. And then bright red when I burn, and then everything else in the middle. It's kind of like, so I'm not used to that heat.
Yeah.
You run out on that, and then during the day, you're like trying to do sound check. You can't touch things, metal.
Right. Burning hot because it's been sitting there all day.
Yeah, I actually read a journalist last year in one of the American newspapers wrote, even his sweat's authentic, which I thought was a great line. I'm like, yeah, it really is authentic. And especially somewhere with a Mountain Winery, because the front row is quite close to the stage, I do that, and I see the sweat go in people's drinks, and then I see them drink, and I'm like, ugh. I'm like, oh god, you're drinking my sweat. You don't even realize it. How's
Well,
that?
you
Is
know
that
what?
how's that?
For some people, that's the closest they're going to get to
Yeah,
Freddie Mercury. So we'll take some Gary Mullen sweat instead.
yeah. It's like
Which is,
how's your margarita? You know,
but
extra salty.
when you represent him so well, Gary, I mean, like, hey, man, let's go with it. You know, I think
You
the fans are
gotta.
really going to appreciate. And again, it's not Gary. It's not just a presentation of what you got of what you're going to see when you go to the show. Man, you've got his vocals on point, and that is not easy. Freddie Mercury is arguably one of the greatest rock and roll singers of all recorded music history, right? And the
Yeah.
fact that you even come anywhere near close, but you get it spot on, you get it bang on. His vocals, that's such an important thing, and that's the kind of thing you got to work at, I imagine, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's okay, singing in your bedroom, or going to karaoke or going to like a, scratch band on a Saturday night and singing with a couple of your buddies.
Which is
That,
what we expect.
which is what everybody expects. But we're trying to create a moment of Queen when Queen were good, Queen on their best night every night.
Ooh,
Just,
yeah,
as you know yourself being a band, some nights you feel it, some nights
that's
you
right.
don't.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You think, if Queen had a bad night, that's okay. They were Queen. If we have a bad night, people aren't going to come back.
I think
You-
it's scar you. They
yeah,
jack you for life, man, because they're like, oh,
that's it.
okay, they didn't bring it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
didn't.
we've
You
got
know, that's an interesting perspective there, Gary. Yeah, you guys don't get a second chance to
you
make
don't
that
get
first
second chance.
impression, if you will, and you have to
No,
make that first impression every single night. And all the videos that I've seen, you guys are bringing it 100% of the time. That's why I'm
well,
so excited to tell our listeners about the show that you guys are going to be doing this Friday at the Mountain Winery. Like I said, and you know what, Gary, the thing is, I think the word is already out on you, man. I think the word is already out on you and the works representing Queen in such a wonderful way because those tickets are going. If
it
folks
is.
haven't gotten their tickets yet, I highly recommend don't wait right after you see this. Get over to mountainwinery.com or to your website, the Gary, what's it again? I had it written down.
Gary Mullen and the
That's
works.com.
right.
Yeah,
Get over there. You can get the tickets
yeah.
there. You can also, and they can also connect with you directly on your IG. Tell them about your social media handles.
Yeah, I've got an IG account. It's called The Real Gary Mullen, and I'll tell you why. My account got hacked a few years ago. John or Drummer, we're on the tour bus traveling across America, and he says, "Hey man, why is your account now called Chi Chi Fausta?" And I was like, "What?" And I couldn't get into my account. So my
Oh
IG
no.
account. I contacted IG and Instagram, and they closed the account down, but wouldn't give me access. So I had to start from zero again. So I made it The Real Gary Mullen, and it's got a blue check because in the
Yep,
amount of
I saw
people
the blue check.
you get the scams and all that, and people
Yep.
contact me saying, "Oh, you sent me a message." It wasn't me.
You're
And we had
right.
to put out, if you've not seen the blue check, it's not me. And I do. If people send me a message, I'll message them back, and I just take photographs and things that are happening in day to day because we like to do the whole Wizard of Oz, pull the curtain back, so you see
Yeah.
behind this, like behind the scenes things or silly things. Like for example, we're a group of men children. We're literally Peter Pan and the Lost Boys. Arrested Development refused to grow up. We're a bunch of middle-aged
Me
men
too.
that never,
Me too.
you know what I mean? I think that's a musical thing. I think we're just a big bunch of kids.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Keeping our spirits youthful,
Yeah. So
You
so
know?
we like to show things that go on behind the scenes, and sometimes people go, "Are you guys all right?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're fine. We're just a bit mental. That's why we're musicians. That's why we can think a bit different from everybody else." So yeah, so with the IG thing, that's the kind of, you can pull the curtain away and you can look to see what goes on.
Right.
It's
And
kind of,
people love that. People love that connection. They love getting closer
yeah,
to their favorite people, their favorite artists and stuff. And imagine you guys are just you got a huge following already, which is why the tickets are really going fast like that. I continue to bring it up because I don't want people who would really take something huge and positive
yeah.
and loving from your show to miss out on it.
And thanks, man. I appreciate that.
It's only a couple of days away. So
Yeah,
I don't want folks to miss out on that. So I think Gary, that you guys are doing a wonderful job representing one of our favorite people who ever lived in the rock and roll universe, Freddie
thank you.
Mercury, and the rest of the band Queen. And before I let you go, let's talk about how talented and how great the band that you are, because that's the thing, Gary.
Yeah,
If it weren't for
I mean,
it weren't for your guys, I guess you could
yeah,
be doing karaoke and looking like
yeah,
him and sounding like him, but
yeah.
you've got the entire band completely on
We
point. Let's take a minute to celebrate those guys.
we got, I suppose the OG, the GOAT, as we say,
The goat.
would be David Brockett, who's our guitarist and musical director. I'm very much like Freddie. I have what my daughter-in-law calls the bing bongs, where it's like squirrel, Let's do that.
I've got that too. Yeah.
That attention span thing.
ADHD.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's do that. So I'll go, oh, let's do that song. And Davey goes, I'll make sure everyone learns it. It goes away and they've got to then figure out how to do it. On me just going, let's do that. But they are, I mean, all the guys, I mean, they're world-class musicians and you have to be playing this music, you know. And we're at a state, we actually like each other. That helps. Like getting this far down the line, we've got a band now. We've got Alan McGeoch on bass, John Halliwell, who's one of my oldest friends, on drums, Davey Brockett on guitar, and Malcolm Gentles on keyboard. And Malcolm is the best contemporary dancing you'll ever see. John Crazy Little Thing Called Love, it's an absolute highlight. He's got the best dad dance.
Wow.
Thing I've seen so far. And anyone coming, you're in for a treat. At the McGarrabico, relax, going to break down, get hip. Malcolm's twisting away and this. It's honestly, it's all. And again, it's the fun element, and we can look at each other on stage. If someone, like for example, middle of you being a bass player, another one Bites the Dust, we have a kind of little bass solo thing that Alan does, and kind of nods a little bit to Chic.
Oh yeah,
because that was John Deacon's thing. He heard.
That's right.
He had I Want Your Love and Good Times and was like, oh my God, I want to write something like that. That's why the bass and drums on that record are so tight. Yeah. So Alan does a solo and kind of goes off on one, and I go off and fix the moustache and calm myself down. So he does his guitar solo. Davey does his guitar solo. The Brian May delay solo, you know, knocks it out of the park, throws his own flourish in it. Yeah. John's got a drum solo. And then John sings I'm in Love with My Car. So it's not me that's like, he sings that.
Oh. Okay, that's right.
I leave the stage. So the audience go, where's Freddie gone? And then suddenly the drummer's singing.
Wow.
So we like to give those kind of little left field moments that people don't expect.
Right.
Oh wow, they did a bit of that. Or do a little snippet of something, like a deep cut. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the three guys in the audience that go, yeah! Remember Queen too. You know, right. not the greatest hits package, the real deep cuts.
That's right.
Like a bit of Ogre Battle. Some guy at the back just goes, yeah. You know, because he's lived there. That's his moment. You know. Yeah. So it's that. It's just trying to. And these guys, I sit at sound checks with a coffee and listen to the guys play because I'd pay to see them. Me out of the equation.
Right.
I'd pay to see these guys. You know, and I get to sit at sound checks. And people say, why are you out there? It's like, because I got off on listening to my guys play.
Sure.
These are my brothers. These are my, you know, I'm the quarterback.
Yeah.
That's my defensive line.
That's right.
I'm the lightning rod. I'm taking all this energy from these guys and throwing it forward. And then it's like, listen to him. Everyone's got their own bit with it to showcase their talent. So it's I'm very proud to be in a band with these guys, you know, and we're a bunch of kids. We have a ridiculously dry, sarcastic sense of humour, as most British people do, and we enjoy what we do.
A tribute to Queen and Freddie Mercury this Friday at the Mountain Winery, Saratoga. Gary Mullen and the Works bringing them to the stage. It's going to be an amazing show. If you don't have your tickets yet, get over to the mountainwinery.com. You can also visit them directly at their website at GaryMullenandTheWorks.com. Follow them on social media as well. Gary, I know you're a super busy guy, so I don't want to take up any more of your time, man, but I thank you so much for your time, you know, and hanging out with me so I can get the word out to our listeners about this wonderful show. That's any person who's any level of a Freddie Mercury and Queen fan needs to see you guys and bring that spirit back, bring that energy back, and for us to be able to show how much we still love and appreciate the music of Queen and Freddie Mercury, and we're so blessed to have you representing him so well. Thank you so much, Gary. It's really a pleasure.
And I hope we see you at the show.
I'll be there, man. I'll be there.
Come and say hi. Come and say hi.
I'll be the one in front row like this.
Yeah. maybe throw one of these in as well.
Right.
You know, just take a, I like what you've done there.
and then very soon after,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's my jam, that one song.
That's my jam.
Everyone's waiting for that one song. That's my jam. You know that.
Bless your heart, Gary. Thank you so much for your time, man. Get well rested up, and we'll see you this Friday.
Thank you, Morris. See you then, man. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.